Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Daniel from the Okemwa Empire. Today we'll be discussing about some of the common questions asked for a Dv Lottery who is a single applicant. Single applicants in the Dv Lottery is one of the easiest, shortest, and the most assured visa that you may expect to get. As usual, you have to do the clearance at the gates until or up to the point of paying your money for the interview. After you have been given the token, you wait, that is a token number, you wait for your turn, and when your time comes, you go to the consular. Then at the consular, these are some of the questions you expect. The consular may have broken the question down to like 4 areas. He will ask a question about yourself. You tell the consular about yourself. The other question is about your academics, because that's why they normally say you must have a Form 4 or a high school qualification or job experience. He will ask a question about your relationship, whether you are married, even though you indicated not married, but he or she has to ask you a question about it. He will also ask a question about your host, whether you know your host and you know where you are going. Let's start with the first one, the question about yourself. The consular will ask you, tell me about yourself, or what's your name? In this case, you give the consular your full names. So and so. If you have 3 names, mention all the 3 names. If you have 3 names, mention the 3 names. Then about your academics, it would ask you, which high school did you go to? So for example, you say, I went to Kisi High School between 1991 to 1995. Then you say, it will ask a question from the way you answered the first question. So afterward, the consular will ask you, did you proceed to college or university, and which course did you do? In this case, you say, yeah, I went to university. You give the name of your university, then the course you did. From there, the consular may continue along that line, and then he will ask you, will you continue doing what you are doing when you move to the United States? Or will you be studying the same course you are doing now if you are a college student? So you answer, I may continue with the same, or when I get to the United States, I may do this and that course. So then he will also continue asking more questions about relationship. Then he will ask you another question. Do you have children? This is the question about relationship. The consular has already looked at your DS-260 form. He or she knows that you are not married, you applied as single, but he will poke a question or poke you by asking, do you have the kids? So you maintain, even if you have kids and you have indicated you are single in your DS-260 form and in your application, so in this case, maintain, you say no. Because the moment you say you have children, it will open another box for more questions. And definitely it will lead to a visa denial. Because you have been saying all through you are single, but you have children. So it will be very difficult in this case to convince, or you will open room for more questions. So do not say you have kids, because yours is single all the way. The other thing that you may ask about that will, why do you want to go to the United States? Here, you answer question by saying, I'm going to the United States to work, to study, and at the same time get money, assist my family. Final. Then the other question is about your host. So it will ask you, who is your host? you must know your host's full names. You say, my host is so and so. After that, you will continue along the line of the host. He will ask you, how are you related with your host? So you must know your relationship with your host. You will say, is a brother, maybe it's a sister, maybe it's a family friend, or is my high school friend, or is a college mate, or whatever, and how it happened to you to know the host. So you must know your host properly. They would ask you, which program did your host go through to the United States? So you must ask your host under which program or which program brought him or her to the United States. If it's a Dv Lottery, they have the records. So you say he went as a Dv Lottery winner. Or he went as a student and changed the program. You say he went as a student and changed the program. Then, along the same, they would ask you, when did your host go to the United States? So you must know when he moved or she moved to the United States. Does your host have a family? Yeah, they will ask you that because he or she has already have your I-134 form from your host. So you will be looking at that. So you must be very keen. If he has a family or she has a family, you must know the number of kids this guy have. Then the other question that he may ask is that, when did he, I answered that one. Then the other question that he will ask about the host, do you know the address where you are going? So you must know the address of your host. Have it in your mind, because they will ask you, if you know it, give us the address where you are moving to. So you must know the address, the state, and the city where your host lives. So friends, when you'll be answering questions for a single Dv applicant or another Dv Lottery interview, you must be very precise and to the point. The more you give the information about yourself, the more you invite more questions from the consular. So it's advisable that you stick to the question and to the point you are asked. Answer the questions the way they come. Do not give much information that will invite more questions from your side. Always prepare a lot about your host, about your relationship, that is your family, you are married and the like. Never give that information if you had said you are single, even though you are married. Know about your academic qualifications, the papers you have, and which year did you get each of those papers. If it is high school, when were you in the high school? When were you in college or in university? Which course did you do? Did you finish your course? So be truthful and honest. And then also about yourself. All the questions that the consular will be asking you, most of them, they are formulated from your DS260 form. He or she has already looked at your DS260 form. He has specific question to ask you, apart from asking your name. And he knows what you wrote in your DS260 form. So that's why we recommend, when you fill your DS260 form, make a copy of the same, such that before the day of the interview, you go through your DS260 form, make yourself familiar with what you wrote there. Then when you go to the interview, you get your mind is fresh on all the things that you wrote in your DS260 form. That's why they normally say your DS260 form is the visa form. It is the form that would be used to give you a visa. So friends, prepare a lot, and do not tense. Always the consular will be looking at you to see whether you are giving the right answers. Are you truthful or you are lying? At the same time, we'll be looking at your DS260 form. So be specific, and if the question is not clear to you, you can say sorry, or come up again, or do this and that. The consular will be able to ask you the question again, or will move slowly, so that you can also get the question the way she wants you to answer. So friends, that's what we prepared for you in this video. I know we have so many new subscribers here. I take this earliest opportunity to say thank you. Welcome to our Okemo Empire. And let's move on. Let's be a family. Let's share, ask questions, and do consultations. For those ones who have not subscribed and they are watching us, please consider subscribing and let's share our videos so that YouTube can get more other viewers to see these videos and they can be able to get the knowledge. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Bye.